Hey, boys and girls. So, I want to talk to you about just the X-linked trait assignments. I think this will help you out as there's some confusion on how to set it up, what to do with the Punnett squares. Now, if you look, here's the assignment, the X-linked genes. It's right here. Also, complex patterns of inheritance with blood types is here. I made a reference for you. I also had a video that I created earlier that shows you step by step how to fill that out. But here's the reference that I think you'll find very helpful. And when we look at X-linked traits, or what we call sex-linked traits, it means they run on the sex chromosome. That's the X chromosome. So for a male to be colorblind, for example, a normal male has just the chromosomes XY. If a male gets one of those defective X chromosomes, X superscript C, he is colorblind. Females, on the other hand, they have two X chromosomes. And since these traits are what we call recessive, you have to have two defective X's to have them. So the only way a female would be colorblind would be the XCXC, that superscript C chromosome there. Females can be carriers, which is what's very common in the population. She'll have one XC, which means she carries the chromosome but does not show the actual traits. The same thing's true for hemophilia. So when somebody's blood does not clot properly, they need to take medication for that. Males, because males have only one X chromosome, if a male gets the allele for hemophilia, he has it. It's either you do or you don't. Females, once again, they're XX. If a female gets one of them, she's normal. She is a carrier. She looks normal. We can't really tell until she has children. For a female to have it, she has to have both of her X chromosomes. They have to be affected, XHXH. So now, likewise, we'll look at the example of eye color and Drosophila. Those are fruit flies. And so we know that eye color, red eyes and white eyes, they're X-linked, and they're also dominant recessive, which red eyes are dominant to white eyes. So capital R is red, lowercase r is white. So a red eye male flies X capital RY over here. A white-eyed male is X lowercase ry. For a female, she can be red-eye two ways. She can have both dominant alleles, that's homozygous, X capital R, or she can be heterozygous, X capital R, X lowercase r. Both of those phenotypes, she looks red. For a female to have white eyes, she would be X lowercase r, X lowercase r. So that's the breakdown of what these Punnett squares, or the letters, the alleles, look like. Now, in making one of the Punnett squares, let's get started on some of them and just show you kind of how you do that here. So if I look at the very first example, we see here a man who's colorblind is XCY. Here's the XCY here. Marries a woman of normal vision. Now, I gave you already the first one here, XX. And so to put this in here, I'm going to type in XCX. And then I'm going to take this C, highlight it, go to Format, Text, Superscript, and there it is. I made it up there. I like to do that step last. It makes it easier. Now just finish your Punnett square. X, Y, X, C, X. I brought it down from the top up here. And then finally, X, Y. So here we have this. And then Format, Text, Superscript, and done. Now, I know using paper and pencil is probably quicker, but given that. Now, when we ask what's the chance to have a boy colorblind or a girl colorblind, I'm asking what's the chance out of every single box here. Every single box being 25%, not just boys in general. So if you look here, are there any boys that are colorblind here? Absolutely not. So for the boys, you got 0%. None of them are colorblind. Girls, we only have carriers. So same thing for girls. It's also 0%. So none of the girls are colorblind. They need to have two of those XCs in order to have that. So that's colorblindness. If we look at hemophilia, it's just the same way. And so let's take a look. If a man whose blood clotting proteins are normal, that means he's XY, marries a woman who is a carrier for hemophilia. So that's X, H, and then X. Remember, the female chromosomes are XX. And so I'm going to make that superscript, text, boom, got that done. Now just do the Punnett square. So X, H, X. I do those letters first that are the effective ones. X, H, Y, X, 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 Y. And now go ahead and take a look at those and change that. Change this. Okay, and there you have it. So now looking at the Punnett square, what are the chances that a boy will have hemophilia? If we look at that, here is the boy. There's only one outcome. So out of this entire box, every quadrant, every box is 25%. So the boy, I'm going to put down 25%. As you can see, a girl with hemophilia, none of them have girls that have hemophilia. I'm not looking at just what percent of the girls are, I'm looking at the percent of the entire Punnett square. So the girls here again are 0%. Remember, these recessive disorders are always more common in boys than girls. Okay, so you'll do the same thing on the rest of the page. Let's take a look then at the fruit flies. And so if you go back to the trait key, for your reference, you have it there. Once again, what red-eye males look like, white-eye males, females that are homozygous, heterozygous, and then white-eye. So I also have it here in the paper for you. So it says cross a heterozygous red-eye female with a white-eyed male. Now, we always typically write the males on the top of Punnett squares. Not that you need to know that, but it's just easier to find them when you're looking for them. And so there's my X lowercase r wide-eyed male with a heterozygous. That means it's different female, different alleles. So I'm going to take that format text, superscript. I think there's a quicker way using Control Plus. I'm just not a fan of that, as things tend to move on my page when I do that. Anyways, so there I have it. There's my Punnett square setup. And now I'm going to do my X capital R first, X lowercase r next. X capital R Y going across, X lowercase r, X lowercase r, X lowercase r, Y. And now just highlight those items there. Take the moment to do that. Shouldn't take too long. And then you'll have your Punnett square done using that. Okay, there you have it. So there's your red-eyed male with your red-eye female with your white-eyed male. And there you have it right there. I think there's more questions that follow that. And so you'll just fill out the Punnett squares as they come. And that's it, okay? If you have questions, let me know.